what are from your experience are the things they absolutely have got to get right to get it, in a very competitive market, to get the attention of these investors?
So we do quite a bit of work on getting people ready for investment readiness, and also sort of helping them prepare their pitch decks and their pitch presentations, and knowing which types of funding is going to be most appropriate to go for. Are you in the sweet spot of this particular VC, or are you better to go for angel funding, or should you be considering some public grant funding as a pre-step towards those things? So it's getting people into the space that says, what is the most appropriate funding for you to look for? And then if it's the most appropriate funding, then helping them get ready for those sort of approaches. One of the most misunderstood aspects of funding is people believing that funding is the end goal. It's not. That's not the end of the road. Funding is a milestone along the pathway. It's a means to an end. It's not an end in itself. And so many people do an awful lot of effort trying to get to the stage of getting funding, get the funding through the door, and then think, well, oh, right, we've succeeded. Actually, no, that's the start of your journey. It's not the end of your journey, And in fact, now you've got the funding, it's an even longer journey post-funding towards being able to then meet the expectations of the funders that have given you the funding in the first place. Because people don't give money away just because out of the goodness of the heart. Funders are, whether they're VCs or angels or whoever, they are giving money for a very specific reason. And that is because they believe that what you're going to do means that they're going to get a return on that money. You're going to be able to actually tap into a marvelous new market that nobody else sees, or you're going to be able to grow at a phenomenal sort of rate, or you're going to be able to expand, or the amount of margin that you're actually going to create because you've got such a unique, disruptive innovation or a unique competitive sort of standing means that you can get a premium and you can get good returns on those investments. So the funders primarily are focused on, is this credible? Do I actually believe that somebody's going to be able to give me my return on investment? Don't forget that a VC, when we talk about return on investment, a VC is expecting somewhere further north of 10 to 12 times what they put in. So if you go to the VC and you ask for £1 million, they are expecting within the next 5 to 7 years that you're going to be able to return to them something like 10 to 15 million quid for their £1 million investment. So if you haven't got a vision or a business plan that will be able to deliver those sort of numbers, then you're just going to be thrown into the scrap heap and considered to be uninvestable. At the same time, if you're asking for £1 million, they've got to know straight away, is that the right amount that you're asking for to do what it is that you're expecting to do? So that's down to, well, what is it that you're going to have to do? How are you going to be spending the money? What are you going to be spending the money on? Is it spent appropriately at the right sort of time? How fast will it actually get you to the start of the return of that investment? If you're pre-revenue is a great sort of phrase, okay, I'm looking for investment, right? Well, have you got any customers yet? No. Okay, so how do we know whether you will get any customers? That's called pre-revenue. If you're post-revenue, that you already have some customers, the risk for an investor is much lower because there you're actually showing them that you've got proof that there is a market out there. Then the question isn't whether there's a market, the question is whether the market is as large as you think it actually is, which is a different risk profile.
And how much can you get?
And how much of that market can you actually grab a hold of? Have you got the credibility? Have you got the wherewithal to actually get there? So a lot of the time an investor is looking, there's two key things that an investor needs from any credible sort of investment deck that they're thinking of investing in. One is the belief that you've actually got the ability, that there is a market there in the first place. And it's a sizable enough market, and it's so far under-tapped is really the first question. And then the second question that comes with it is, are you the right guys to actually get there? What makes me as an investor believe that you understand this technology, if it's a technology solution, well enough to deliver it, that you understand this market need well enough to be able to actually, be accurate about what it is that you're trying to do, and that you then got the capabilities to deliver the sales and marketing effort to make that happen, to deliver the operational implementation, to build the stuff to make that happen, and to have the management control to be able to do that without falling off the wagon through all the risks that you're going to be involved with trying to get up that growth curve.